Hello and welcome into the Who's On podcast, part of the Saber Podcast Network. Welcome to our new series we're doing for YouTube on the Who's On podcast YouTube channel, our new Who's series. And today I'm joined by one of the newest commits in the transfer portal to the University of Virginia. I've got Wyatt Rubinoff, a long snapper from New Hampshire. You've been all over the place though, man. You're in Florida right now. You've also from Georgia. You started at Marist College. Then you went up to New Hampshire, but you also played IMG, man. It seems like you've been all over the place.
Yeah, I have been, and it's not been by choice. I mean, it's been by choice, obviously, but it's certain situations have kind of made it to where I've had to. So, I went to 4 high schools in 4 years, and this would be my third college in 3 years. So I'm honestly just looking to settle down, find a home.
Yeah, here you are coming off your sophomore year, and you're like, I'm ready to settle down, guys.
Absolutely, I'm done with it. Every year is a new school. I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah. So let's go back. I think you ended your career at IMG Academy. Obviously, there's a ton of talent that comes through there. What's it like being part of a program in high school like IMG?
Yeah, obviously top facilities, top talent. I mean, pretty much every guy in the field at the position is going to some sort of Power Four school. So you kind of learn earlier than most guys do how good guys could be. And I feel like I was very privileged to have that opportunity to go up there, play for our head coach, Coach Miller, who is now a special teams analyst at North Carolina. And not many kids get the opportunity to kind of, play, travel around in high school and play for a national championship high school team with top talent, lots of money involved in the program. So you have the best facilities, best treatment, best everything. So I think it really helped me grow and kind of developed early into that college atmosphere that has helped me grow and, be able to play at this level more easy.
Who are some of the guys I haven't had a chance to look that you played with there?
Big names would be Jordan Seaton, the left tackle at Colorado, David Stone, Jaden Jackson, both. I think they're both still at Oklahoma. Ellis Robinson, he's a corner at Georgia.
Yeah.
Lots of big names, and still a bunch of guys that I could have named, but lots of big names.
So as a long snapper, what is that recruitment like? I mean, we've got obviously Cole's kicking, I think has kind of helped just kind of, rank specialists, especially with like, the kickers, the punters, the long snappers, because before it's like, what do you even make of these positions?
Yeah,
But what is that recruitment process like trying to go to college to be a long snapper?
it's definitely tough. It definitely not as easy as these other positions. Other positions, a quarterback, you have about six of them at the college level. Long snapper, you usually have about two. So limited, much more limited roster spots. Coming out of high school, especially the transfer portal, everybody's kind of looking for the guy who's already had experience, who already had played. Um, so it's definitely got more difficult. It's really hard to kind of move your way up. I chose to go the path with playing at Marist. It was a lower Division One FCS school. Kind of the bottom you could go for FCS. We went 1-10, or yeah, 1-10, my freshman year with a whole new coaching staff. But I was able to get kind of that film and experience early on, and then transferred to New Hampshire. Um, but out of high school, yeah, it was rough. Even though I went to IMG, kind of had every single recruiting platform, my name on it, it still didn't honestly give me uh, the huge recognition I feel like I should have had out of high school. Um, but yeah, really the only way you could kind of get your name out there is by going to these camps like Rubio, like Coles. I work with a coach named Coach Stelter. He's been tremendous for me. Um, so improving your craft is really the only thing. They're going to eventually see you, but the experience is something that's really helped. So I'm glad I kind of took the route of taking the Division One FCS kind of way instead of some of these guys have committed to Ohio State, North Carolina, kind of moved down. They haven't really had much playing time, and so I don't know what they're going to do the rest of college careers, but I feel like taking kind of low and then going up is a little better than going high and then going low. So that's kind of how I'm
Sure.
thinking about so far.
It seems wild to have the platform like you did at an IMG and to be able to go to some of these camps and still, you're talking about Marist and then moving up to New Hampshire as far as a long snapper. But I think that's just how crazy these specialist recruitments are. And a lot of
Yeah.
times, like, you may not even meet the head coach until, much further down the process. I remember asking a UVA head coach a number of years ago, it was like, oh, what was the recruitment like for this guy? It was like, I don't know. He just showed up one day, like, because he was a punter. And so it could be interesting like that at times. But how did you make the choice? How did you get into the business of being a long snapper?
Yeah, so I wasn't passionate into football at all until about my freshman year of high school. I saw a Super Bowl. I forgot which one it was, but Tom Brady was playing. I saw the crowd. I saw the fans. I saw how much popularity the sport had. And I fell in love with it. And so from there, I was like, I'm going to be a quarterback. I think everybody kind of has that thought when they start playing. Uh, and I went out for my freshman high school team. We weren't very good. It was COVID year. Um, and I ended up actually playing. We had about 24 kids on our team. So the starting quarterback he got sick or injured. So I had the first game. There were 3 interceptions. He went for 58 yards, no touchdowns. It's like, oh, that's a little rough. But I was still on the team playing quarterback the rest of the season. Didn't really get a lot, and still was kind of passionate about playing the position. I really liked how it looked on the outside. Uh, Ended up transferring to a better high school, better in California. Played quarterback again. Out of 7 guys, I was cut. So I was the only one cut on there. Switched to tight end, but I still did long snapping. I did long snapping my high school team and my JV team at that new California school, but I wasn't good. I didn't practice at all, and somehow I was still the starter. So I was like, okay, if I'm the starter and I haven't practiced at all in it, and I practice quarterback and I don't get any playing time, let's try this long snapping thing. My goal is the league. I'm very passionate about it. Obviously, I didn't know the work that went into it at that point, but I kind of thought, well, if I'm not doing anything, let's work at it. So and then I was out there probably pretty much 2 hours every single day for probably till now. I put so much work into long snapping, and it's very repetitive. Very, I guess people on the outside would think it's boring, but perfecting a skill that's so kind of limited in what you do with it, it's kind of obsessive because every little thing is kind of one tweak can make the whole snap different. Um, so I kind of fell in love with that kind of process oriented way of it. And yeah, from there, started my varsity year at a school in Georgia, and then had tape from there. Coach had a guy at IMG, and he left like 2 weeks before the season started. I got the call. He saw my name on Coach Rubio, his list. Got the call up to IMG, and it's kind of been from there. That's kind of where I felt like I've really kind of got the name for myself of being a top long snapper.
I, you got to walk me through some of the nuance of it, because yeah, like you said, it seems like it's one thing, like that's all you're doing. But what's the most challenging aspect of it?
100%. You're the only position in any sport that's expected to be perfect. Like you can't mess up at all, or it's pretty much it's the worst look you could possibly get for your position. So you have roughly, I'd say, about 120 snaps in a season for a long snapper. You're expected to be perfect on about 120 of those. Um, could you remind me what the question was again?
Yeah, just with the nuance, like what's the toughest part of the
Yeah,
position?
I would say that's it.
Yeah,
Is perfection. You're providing for your punter, your kicker, your holder, um, and it's hard. No other position you expect to be perfect, and you don't get any recognition for it whatsoever. Um, so that's the other thing. Like, well, I get to play at a top school like this. It's I still won't get the recognition. As say quarterback, obviously, and stuff like
sure.
that.
I think people also forget on punt, you got to go down there and make a tackle. And like usually, since no one's over you, you're like one of the first people to get down there. That part I have seen in the past. I think Virginia fans have experienced like if you miss your lane or whatever on punt coverage, like that could blow the whole thing up and the returner could go off.
Yeah, 100%. And I blocked last year at New Hampshire, so I didn't have the most responsibility in running, but I did it at Marist. I've done it my whole high school career. Um, but yeah, so that's one thing Coach Myers is talking about. Like he really wants to fix this year compared to last year is that they gave up way too many return yards. So my job is obviously to make a tackle, but I'm covering the field, making sure that I make that I make that returner not get very far. So that's the biggest goal of it. Um,
You
yeah,
mentioned Drew Meyer there, one of the special teams analysts for Virginia. What was your recruitment like? How soon did he reach out to you? When did you get in the portal?
yeah. So I kind of announced I was getting the portal pretty much right after. So our head coach took another job from New Hampshire to UPenn, and kind of took every single coach with him. So I think it was about a week before the portal opened. I kind of announced I was going in. I didn't feel like it was any different from me staying to going because either way, I'm proving myself to a whole new coaching staff. So I announced, and then the first day, I got a call from Coach Meyer kind of at the end of it. So obviously, I didn't kind of know how far up I was on their board at all, but he was feeling me out. But we ended up having a 35-minute conversation. And he seemed like the most genuine, the nicest coach I've talked to in that day. And I probably got, I'd say about 10 to 15 calls that day. And even since then, he's been the best coach I've talked to, just the most genuine guy. And since the visit I took today and yesterday, every coach is like that at UVA. Yeah, UVA. So that was really surprising. All of them kind of uphold a standard of having a really respectable and kind of faith-based culture, in which I really really love. And so yeah, so we ended up having probably two or three conversations before my visit. All of them were super long but super informative, and I got every question answered. So he was great, and he was great on the visit. Like unbelievable. Probably one of the best coaches I've had recruit me so far.
Yeah, talk me through that visit. You've been to a lot of states, obviously, in
Yeah.
your career. Had you been to Virginia before?
Actually, when I was, I don't, I'm not like positive if this count is a Washington D.C. I know it's a district.
I can't
Uh,
count
can't count it. So, okay, so technically
it.
not. I lived I lived in Washington D.C. when I was a baby. But yeah, so I guess technically not. So yeah,
There's a lot of contention about DC and Northern Virginia. Like, does it
okay,
count? And so it's not even my decision. I'm sorry, Wyatt.
okay, no, that's fair. That's fair. But I loved it out there. Charlottesville is really nice, and obviously when the leaves start growing, it'll be a lot more pretty. But
Yeah.
the campus was, or you call it not, you don't call it campus, you call it the grounds. Or am I right about that?
I don't make that decision either, but yes, that is what it's
Okay.
called.
Yeah, yeah. So you call it the grounds. There, like the historical aspect of it was very surprising to me. I didn't even know Thomas Jefferson kind of founded the whole campus, but it was beautiful. Um, obviously the facilities and the stadium was my favorite part. Coming from an FCS school is outstanding. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah, in this program, especially where it is right now, coming off, one of the best seasons in program history, how exciting, and could you kind of feel kind of maybe some of the energy in the building when you were there?
Man, yeah. Every coach is just moving forward. Like, obviously they had a great season last year, but they were like, how can we improve from last year? Obviously, there's a lot of room for improvement. I know they lost a lot of guys. I know Bryce, the other long snapper, they lost. So they're trying to fill those positions quick and fill it with the best people possible. Um, but the way it kind of sounded is like, 11-3, that's in the past now. We have new standards. So that's the bottom of the barrel now. We're looking to be, undefeated national champions. That's how it kind of felt over there. And I without doubt, I feel like we could do that.
So your timeline here is you just got back from Charlottesville, and now you're home, but you got a couple days before
Yeah.
you got to go back, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm at home right now, and then I start driving up tomorrow morning. Then I stay in a hotel, have a meeting. They gave me the option of like, you could just do a Zoom call, and that would be fine. But I want to meet the teammates. I want to be involved as soon as possible because I know how these kind of relationships are built. Like I want to build my relationship with the kicker, the holder, as much as the D tackle. So I'm really looking forward to getting up there. All the I met the punter, Sparky. Seems
Yep.
like a great guy. So I'm ready to get to work as soon as possible up there.
Yeah, it's just a massive turnaround, and that's kind of what's happened with this portal and just how it is right now. Is it's moved so quick.
Yeah.
But why I appreciate you coming on here, and best of luck in your time in Charlottesville, and look forward to seeing you soon, man.
Thank you very much. Likewise.
All right, that is Wyatt Rubinoff. That is the latest episode of New Who's. We will have more coming to you here on the Who's On Podcast YouTube channel.